The TSA line? Avoidable. That awful middle seat? Totally preventable. And the free coffee that wrecks your stomach? Yeah, there's a better way. This isn't just another travel video. These are the real air travel tips most people find out the hard way, after they've overpaid, overpacked, or overheated in row 33B. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to skip the worst airport crowds, board smarter, sit better, sleep better, eat better, and walk off the plane feeling like a pro, not a victim. If you've got a flight coming up, this is everything you need to know before you go. You don't have to fight crowds at the airport. Not if you know when to fly. Most people show up at the worst times: Monday mornings, Friday afternoons, holiday weekends. That's when security lines drag, parking's full, and everything feels like a mess. But airports aren't always like that. The difference? Timing. Midweek flights, especially Tuesday through Thursday, are usually quieter. So are midday flights and red-eyes after 9 p.m. Avoid flying the day before Thanksgiving or the Sunday after. It's a guaranteed headache. And the week between Christmas and New Year's? Expect full flights, long waits, and stressed out staff. If you've got flexibility, use it. Flying off peak means faster check-in, shorter TSA lines, and more space on the plane. Sometimes you'll even get to pick a better seat without paying extra. It's not a travel hack, it's just smart planning. And it makes the entire airport experience smoother, calmer, and actually enjoyable. If you can pick your flight time, always go with the earliest one. Morning flights are more likely to leave on time. Why? Because delays stack up as the day goes on. One late arrival leads to another, then another. By the time your evening flight rolls around, you're stuck waiting because 4 other planes were late before yours. Early flights dodge that domino effect. The plane's already at the gate, the crew's fresh, the schedule's clean. And here's something even most frequent flyers don't know. Morning air is calmer, less turbulence. If bumpy flights make you nervous, flying before noon can make the whole experience smoother. I always go for the first flight of the day. A friend who works for an airline once told me it's the closest thing to a guaranteed on-time takeoff. He was right. When you fly early, you're more likely to leave exactly when you're supposed to. That means you can plan your day without bracing for delay updates every 10 minutes. So yeah, early flights mean early alarms. But they also mean fewer surprises, less stress, and a way more reliable start to your trip. Your flight's full. The gate agent announces they're looking for volunteers to give up their seats. And just like that, someone's dangling a $200 voucher in front of you. Don't grab it. Not yet. Airlines often overbook flights, betting on no-shows. But when too many passengers actually show up, they start offering vouchers to get people off the plane. And the first offer? It's almost always the lowest. Wait, the longer you hold out, the better the deal gets. I've seen it go from $200 to $600, sometimes even over $1,000, plus hotel stays and meal credits. The airline needs a certain number of volunteers, so the incentives keep rising until they get them. And if no one volunteers, they'll start bumping people involuntarily. That's when you have rights. If you're removed from a flight against your will, the airline owes you cash, up to 4 times the ticket price, depending on how late they rebook you. Not a voucher, real money. So unless you're in a rush, play it smart. Hold your ground, know your rights, and never settle for the first number they throw out. Want to avoid last-minute chaos at the airport? Start by downloading your airline's app before you even pack your bag. That app isn't just for checking flight times. It gives you real-time updates on gate changes, delays, and even lets you rebook instantly if your flight gets canceled. No waiting in line, no being stuck on hold. You can also get your mobile boarding pass, track your checked bags, and in some cases, chat directly with support. I've seen people miss flights just because their gate changed and they didn't know. Meanwhile, I got a ping on my phone and walked straight to the new one. It's one of the easiest ways to stay ahead of airport drama. And the best part, it's free. So before you even call that Uber to the terminal, download the app, log in, and set up notifications. You'll thank yourself later. Most travelers wait until they get to the airport to check in, but if you do it early, online, or through the airline app, you unlock more than just a time saver. You get access to better seat options, sometimes even upgrades. You might earn extra loyalty points depending on your frequent flyer program. It also locks in your spot early, so if the flight gets overbooked, you're less likely to be bumped. Plus, checking in early means you skip one of the most crowded parts of the airport experience. Less time at the counter, more time to actually breathe. It also signals to the airline that you're a confirmed passenger. Sounds small, but in an overbooked situation, that could be the difference between flying and being bumped. Bottom line, it takes 2 minutes to check in early, but those 2 minutes can save you from a lot of airport chaos. You've boarded. Everyone's seated. The cabin door clicks shut. The plane starts rolling toward the runway. And then, someone stands up to use the bathroom. What seems like no big deal? It actually stops the entire flight. Here's why. The second you leave your seat while taxiing, flight attendants have to alert the cockpit. And by regulation, the pilots must stop the plane until you're back, buckled, and secure. And during that delay, the plane can lose its spot in the takeoff line. That tiny bathroom break can delay 100 people by 30 minutes or more. No one's going to stop you if it's an emergency, but let's be honest, it usually isn't. It's just bad timing. So here's the smarter move. Go before you board. Airport restrooms are cleaner, more spacious, and way less stressful than squeezing into a tiny cabin stall at the worst possible moment. A 2-minute detour in the terminal could save an entire plane full of people from missing connections. Sure, window seats look dreamy. Great for views, great for naps, great for avoiding awkward aisle traffic. But here's what no one tells you. They're freezing. The outside air at cruising altitude can drop to 70 degrees Celsius or even colder. And while the cabin's pressurized and heated, that icy air still seeps through the plane's body, right next to your seat. In summer, you might not notice it right away. But a couple hours in, your legs are chilly, your arms feel the draft, and that cute travel outfit suddenly feels like a bad idea. The fix is simple. Pack an extra layer. Even just a light jacket or scarf makes a huge difference. And if you forgot, don't be shy. Ask the flight attendant for a blanket. That's what they're there for. So yes, take the window seat if you love the view. Just don't let the chills sneak up on you mid-flight. If turbulence makes you grip the armrest like it's a lifeline, you're not alone. Even seasoned travelers tense up when the plane starts to bounce. There's a reason seasoned travelers sit here. The smoothest ride is over the wing. Why? Because that's the aircraft's center of gravity. When air gets choppy, the front and back of the plane move more, just like the ends of a seesaw. The middle, way more stable. That's why flight crew and frequent flyers almost always pick wing seats. You feel less of the dip, sway, and bounce. It's not magic, but it makes a difference, especially on long-haul flights or routes known for bumpy weather. So next time you're picking a seat, aim for rows over the wings. Your nerves and your coffee will thank you. Most people rush to pick seats up front. Closer to the door, off the plane faster, feels more premium. But if you care more about the flight experience than saving 3 minutes at landing, here's a little secret. Flight attendants tend to be more generous in the back. It's not official policy, of course, but back there, they have more flexibility, fewer eyes watching. They can quietly offer you an extra snack, a blanket, or even sneak you a second drink without starting a full cabin uprising. Up front, everything has to be fair, by the book, no favoritism. But in the back, it's friendlier. Sure, you'll be among the last to deplane, but for a more relaxed flight with better odds of bonus treats, that's a trade worth making. Sometimes coach gets a little VIP, just in reverse. Not all airplane seats are created equal. Some have extra legroom, some don't recline, and some are planted right next to the bathroom, where it's loud, smells weird, and foot traffic never stops. So, how do you know which ones to avoid? Easy. Use SeatGuru. Just type in your airline and flight number, and it'll show you a full seat map of your exact plane. with color codes, reviews, and tips from other travelers. You'll know which seats are narrow, which ones don't have windows, and which ones are secretly amazing. It takes 30 seconds, and it can make hours in the air feel way less like a punishment. Don't leave it up to luck. A little research now saves a lot of regret at 35,000 feet. You're tired, you've barely slept, and that flight attendant rolls by with a cart full of hot drinks. Coffee sounds like the perfect fix. But maybe not. Here's the deal. The water used for coffee and tea on most planes comes from onboard holding tanks. And those tanks, they're rarely cleaned as thoroughly or as often as you'd expect. Multiple studies have found bacteria like E. coli and staph living in those water lines. Yep, the same ones used to brew your in-flight latte. Many flight attendants won't even touch the coffee or tea they serve. That alone should tell you something. If they're skipping it, maybe you should too. Instead, stick to bottled water or juice. Or grab your caffeine fix at the terminal, where the water doesn't come from a 30-year-old tank hiding under the floor. A small change, but one that might just save you from a very uncomfortable landing. Ever paid $5 for a tiny bottle of water at the airport? Yeah, we've all been there. But here's a better move. Bring an empty water bottle in your carry-on. You can't bring liquids through security, but an empty bottle? Totally fine. Once you're past the checkpoint, head to a water fountain or refill station. Most major airports have them now, usually near restrooms or boarding gates. You fill up for free, stay hydrated on your flight, and skip those tiny plastic cups they pass out every few hours. It's cheaper, cleaner, and way more convenient, especially on long flights where you don't want to keep asking for water in thimble-sized portions. So next time you pack, toss in that reusable bottle. One small habit, big payoff. Think the airplane bathroom is the grossest place on board? Think again. The real germ hotspots are right in front of you. The tray table and the seatback pocket. Yep, that little table you eat on? People have used it to change diapers. Flight attendants have seen it. Some don't even flinch anymore. And that pocket where you stuff your book or phone, it's often filled with used tissues, snack wrappers, gum, and things we shouldn't name out loud. Why? Because those spots don't get cleaned nearly as often as you think. Bathrooms, they get a quick wipe between flights. But tray tables? Not always. And seat back pockets? Rarely. So here's what you do. Pack disinfectant wipes. Clean the tray table before you use it. Keep your personal items in your own bag. And never, never put food directly on that surface. A little caution goes a long way when you're sharing a space with hundreds of strangers at 35,000 feet. You've seen it 100 times. People walking through the terminal with a giant U-shaped pillow wrapped around the back of their neck like it's a neck brace. And guess what? Most of them are wearing it wrong. That U-shaped pillow is designed to support your chin, not your neck. When you wear it the other way, your head drops forward when you sleep, and you wake up with a stiff neck and a crumpled boarding pass. Flip it around. Put the thick part under your chin. It keeps your head upright and actually lets you rest without bobbing like a dashboard hula doll. It looks a little weird, but it works. And once you try it, you'll wonder why no one told you sooner. Your neck will thank you. And so will the person next to you when you stop collapsing onto their shoulder mid-flight. They seem like the perfect travel outfit, light, breezy, comfortable. But airplane seats aren't exactly clean. Hundreds of passengers use them every week, and between flights, deep cleaning isn't always part of the turnaround. So when you sit in shorts, you're putting your bare skin right where who knows what has been. Add in the fact that cabin temperatures can drop fast, and suddenly your easy summer outfit feels cold, exposed, and kind of regrettable. Jeans, joggers, even light travel pants? All better choices. They give you a buffer between you and that mystery seat and help you stay warm when the AC kicks in at 35,000 feet. It's not about dressing up, it's about dressing smart. And shorts, sadly, don't make the cut. It sounds small, but forgetting a pen on an international flight can turn into a mess real quick. You're handed a customs form mid-flight. You realize you don't have a pen, so now you're looking around, row by row, trying to borrow one from someone half asleep or already using theirs. It's awkward, it's rushed, and it delays you just enough to end up behind the longest line at immigration. It's such a simple thing, but it makes a huge difference. Just keep a pen in your personal item. Use it. Cap it. Done. It starts simple. Your phone's at 18%. The airport outlet is either taken or broken, and your gate's boarding soon. Now your digital boarding pass? Trapped in a dead phone. And it's not just the pass. Your flight info, ride apps, hotel details, they all disappear the second your battery dies. That's why a power bank isn't optional. It's travel survival gear. Make sure it's fully charged under 100 watt-hours, which covers most standard models, and keep it in your carry-on. Airlines don't allow them in checked luggage anyway. It takes up barely any space, but saves you from a whole world of chaos when you need it most. A phone at 5% and no outlet in sight? That's not a travel vibe. That's a panic attack in slow motion. It sounds strange, but flying can actually damage your skin more than lying on a beach. Here's why. At 30,000 feet, you're above most of the Earth's protective atmosphere. That means stronger UV exposure, especially if you're in a window seat, soaking in that free natural light. One study found that pilots flying for just 1 hour at cruising altitude get the same UV exposure as spending 20 minutes in a tanning bed. Another study showed airline crew have up to 10 times the risk of melanoma compared to the general population. And guess what? You're in the same plane, same altitude, same sunlight. If you're on a long-haul flight, especially near the window, you're sitting in that light for hours. So don't skip this step. Before your next flight, apply sunscreen, especially on your face, neck, and hands. A lightweight SPF 30 or higher will do the job without making you feel greasy. It's the kind of protection that takes 10 seconds, but lasts long after you land. Most airlines let you fly with an infant on your lap. It saves money, seems convenient, and it's totally allowed. But here's what most parents don't realize. In a sudden stop or emergency, your arms aren't strong enough to hold on. Pilots and safety experts have warned for years, during turbulence or impact, a lap child can be thrown from a parent's arms. It turns your baby into a projectile. That sounds harsh, but it's the reality. The FAA recommends using an approved car seat for infants during flights. It secures your child the same way a seatbelt secures you. It's safer, more stable, and gives both of you a better chance in case something goes wrong. Yes, it means paying for an extra seat. But if you wouldn't drive without buckling your baby in, why fly without it? Tired of the same dry chicken or mushy pasta at 35,000 feet? Here's a trick most travelers never think to use. Order a special meal. When you book your ticket or check in online, airlines usually let you choose from options like vegetarian, kosher, gluten-free, seafood, or low sodium. And no, you don't need a medical reason. Anyone can request one. What's the catch? There isn't one. In fact, these meals are often fresher, better prepared, and served before everyone else. That means you eat earlier, get more attention from the crew, and sometimes, depending on the airline, you even get different packaging or upgraded sides. It's a small click, but a big upgrade. No extra charge, no hassle, just better food and less waiting. So next time, skip the mystery meat. Go custom. You're stuck on an overnight layover. It's 2 a.m., your body's begging for sleep, but every seat is cold, metal, and has armrests made to torture. Here's what most people don't know. Many airports have quiet zones made just for this. No big signs, no loud announcements, but they're there, hidden in corners, behind frosted glass, or tucked near lesser-used gates. Some even have reclining loungers, soft lighting, or nap pods that feel like something out of a sci-fi movie. They're clean, quiet, and best of all, free. Before your trip, search online, airport name plus sleep spots or quiet zone. You'll often find forums or travel blogs showing exactly where to go. It's one of the best kept travel secrets. And when you find it, you'll feel like you've unlocked a level only frequent flyers know. So next time you're stuck between flights, don't drag yourself through the terminal half asleep. Just find your spot, stretch out, and actually rest. 12-hour flight. Jet lag, dry skin, sweaty everything. You'd do anything for a hot shower, but the idea of booking a hotel just to rinse off? No thanks. Here's the good news. Many major airports offer showers for free. Yes, free. Places like Singapore Changi, Tokyo Narita, and Dubai International have dedicated shower rooms just for transit passengers. Clean, modern, stocked with basics. No booking, no extra fee. And even if your airport doesn't have free showers, don't give up. Head to the nearest airline lounge. If your flight is delayed, canceled, or you're on a long layover, you might get a free lounge pass. And almost every lounge has showers. Just ask. You might be surprised how easy it is to access. Because nothing feels more like a reset after a long-haul flight than stepping out of a real shower, clean, awake, and ready to face the next leg of your journey like a human again. You touch down in a new country, turn on your phone, and boom, instant panic. Roaming fees hit harder than jet lag, but not every airport is out to drain your wallet. At some major hubs, like Dubai, Singapore Changi, or Incheon, you'll find kiosks offering free SIM cards for international arrivals. Some even come with a bit of data and local call time to get you started. You can top it up later, but in those first few hours, when you're trying to find your hotel, grab a ride, or message your Airbnb host, it's a total game changer. Just look for a kiosk labeled free SIM or ask at the information desk. Not all airports have it, but if you're lucky enough to land at one that does, it's worth checking. Because nothing feels better after a long flight than getting online without seeing your carrier's $12 per day warning. Your phone's dying. You've got a 6-hour layover, and every outlet in sight, taken. Now you're pacing like a caffeinated hawk, eyeing every wall for a free plug. But don't give up just yet. Most airports have hidden charging spots. You just need to know where to look. Check under benches, behind trash cans, yes, really, along the legs of high tables. Some charging ports are tucked into decorative pillars or the backs of flight info displays. Sneaky, but real. And here's a trick. Head to a gate that's not in use. Empty gates often have open outlets and nobody fighting for them. Finding one feels like discovering buried treasure. Quiet, available, yours. So next time your phone's on 4% and everyone's hovering around that one charging tower like it's a campfire, just look around. The smart travelers always do. You just landed. Jet-lagged, arms sore, suitcase doing that one-wheel drag. You head toward baggage claim and see the carts with a credit card machine attached. $6 just to roll your stuff 300 feet? No, thank you. But here's the good news. Not all airports are out to nickel and dime you. Some actually offer free luggage carts for arriving passengers. Airports like Dubai, Seoul Incheon, and Singapore Changi, totally free. No swipe, no coin slot, no stress. They understand the assignment, helping travelers, not squeezing them. So before you start searching for small bills or digging through your wallet, look around. That row of carts off to the side might just be yours for the taking. No charge at all. A tiny win. But after a long flight, it feels like striking gold. You just landed after a long flight. You're tired, disoriented, and the last thing you want is to negotiate with a taxi driver who speaks 3 words of English or figure out a train system while holding 3 bags and a coffee. But guess what? Some airports offer free transportation straight into the city. Zurich, Hong Kong. A few others are quietly joining in. They offer complimentary buses, trains, or airport shuttles. No ticket, no stress, no surprise fare. You don't have to flash a fancy airline status. Just be a passenger arriving at the airport. Here's what to do. Before your trip, check the official airport website or search airport name plus free transportation. You might be shocked how many cities are offering this and how few people know about it. Because let's be honest, nothing beats getting into town without pulling out your wallet. Layovers can feel like time stands still. You've got hours to kill, nowhere to sleep, and you've already circled the terminal twice. But in some airports, That dead time? It's actually a chance to explore an entirely new city without spending a cent. Airports like Istanbul, Doha, and Singapore offer free guided tours for transit passengers. Full city tours with a bus, a local guide, photo stops, and sometimes even a quick meal. No booking, no ticket. Just show up with your boarding pass and passport. You don't need a visa in many cases, and the transit desk will walk you through exactly what to do. So instead of sitting by a charging outlet counting down the hours, you could be seeing mosques, markets, skylines, places you didn't even plan to visit. Sometimes the best part of your trip isn't even on your itinerary. So now you know. Flying doesn't have to be a mess of crowds, overpriced water, and missed connections. It can actually be kind of smooth. When you know what to avoid, what to pack, where to sit, and what to look for at the airport, the whole experience shifts. You're not just surviving the flight anymore. You're navigating it like someone who's done this a few hundred times. If any of these tips made your next trip feel a little easier, a little less stressful, or a lot more clever, stick around. There's more where that came from. And hey, if you've got your own go-to travel trick, the one that saves your sanity every time, share it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for flying with me today. And next time we cross paths at the gate, I hope you're the one sipping bottled water, fully charged, stretched out in that perfect seat near the wing. Just casually winning at air travel.